Hello. Welcome in. How's everyone doing? Hello. Hello. It's Tuesday. And I have practiced sewing. Had a little bit of offline commitments and stress. Done some chores. Watched some movies. And been quite... Yesterday was a lovely little break day. But lots of admin stuff in between. I've got the sewing things to... I've practiced sewing in different lines. As well as bunching together fabric and placing pins and stuff. Yeah. I got my little piece of fabric with bits on it. What you watch? We watched The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, as well as Liar Liar. Quite good. They're very quite good movies. Yeah, fucked up what happened to Brendan Fraser over the years. I still am not 100% familiar with the entire story, but it is fucked up that he was pretty much blacklisted for so many years as such a talented actor. Like, that movie's good. You can listen to Roger Ebert's review even. He acknowledges he's a major cinephile, but still just found The Mummy really fun. Like, it's such a good movie. And then Amazon messed up the subtitling. I was really confused because I was like, wait, he says the line. And then fucking Imhotep just says some stuff in ancient Egyptian. I'm sitting there like an idiot because like, wow, I guess it wasn't subtitled. Because we have the subtitles on. Guess what? If you turn subtitles on, it turns off the translated subtitles for the character speaking different language. It just says Arabic. It just fucking says Arabic. So Amazon Prime's version of The Mummy is you either listen to the characters speaking different languages as subtitles, or you read the subtitles for everyone else. You can't have both. It's so silly. That was multiple points. You're like, oh, what is that character saying? Arabic. Or you turn off the subtitles, listen to the Arabic. What's that character say? I can't fucking hear him. Who knows? Yes, I don't know why they do that. Surely you can just have the subtitles with everyone speaking. Why would a mummy speak Arabic? I don't know. I can't... I'll have to see if... Because it said some of the characters were speaking Arabic. There's probably some of the languages they mentioned, but yeah, it's just speaking Arabic. A very young mummy? Well, it was a few thousand years old, I think. Not hard to do it like this in Arabic something. Yeah, I can only say they fucked it up because it has subtitles that don't appear when you turn on the subtitles. If you watch John Wick on Netflix, you'll get rid of the cool subtitles as part of the movie. That's fucked up. Ugh. I think we've talked about this with anime subtitles especially. Yeah, the dubbed subtitles are a different thing because having it spoken versus written on screen is different to, you know, the original Japanese language. So a dub is often not going to use the exact Japanese to English word translation. They might flip some stuff, they might be directed later, and the people that work on the Japanese to English subtitles aren't the same that work on the Japanese to English dub. Uh-oh. What was that? Hello? Is everyone still here? Stream froze for a little bit, but it's not like a crash. Held up. Again, OBS doesn't have a thing in the log for it, so it's not like the other GPU crash. Is that a different issue? Because I think that happened last time as well. Hold up. It's gotta cut the tangent short about subtitles and the homogenization of subtitles versus the fan sub crowd. Hold on. System, that's 7:26 p.m. Hang on, I'll write that down. 7:26 p.m. VTube model froze. OBS says encoder overloaded. No crash or errors in logs or Windows event viewer. Which is really bizarre, because you would think that there would be if there was an actual crash like all the other times, it would say that there was a problem, but no, like event viewer has nothing. Maybe it's just because the 3060 is, hold up, RTX 3060 number of encoders. Because I know NVENC is different across GPUs, and the 3060 it doesn't have as powerful of one as the others. The 3060 is one physical NVENC chip, whereas the 4070 Ti and above have two. Okay, that's possibly why. So that could just be like a stream issue. Is the 29 blip still happening? We will say, hello, 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 it's 29 now. Hello, hello. Is the stream issue gonna happen? Is it gonna lag? Is it gonna lag? What's gonna happen? Hello. It's 29. Is it lagging? Yes, it is. Okay, there's nothing in the VTube Studio log. So again, a separate problem to the graphics crash. I've got multiple problems at the same time that may or may not be related. Okay, it's 7:30 now, so the 7:29 hourly stutter is still happening. Very bizarre. 59 Mako. I get time zones are a thing. Alright, let me just... Okay, so for people confused, a quick summary so that we won't go into as much detail about every single thing as I've done in the past couple streams, because it's kind of beating a dead horse. So put the chat box away. It is the 17th of the 3rd, 2026, and there is a couple stream problems. There's unfortunately multiple, and no idea if they're actually connected or not. Because the one we fixed was the internet issue. The internet issue is solved. That was a hardware issue that the NVN has fixed. So, internet problem, solved. Unfortunately, there is still something 29 p.m. stutter in VTube Studio and vBridger, where I'm still able to move around, but the whole thing just seems to freeze a little bit in terms of tracking. Don't know if this is network related or graphics card related. Then there is also a encoder overload issue. This is happening with both GPUs, but more so the 3060. And this is probably due to having like one NVENC encoder. Because the little NVENC thing, NVENC is the hardware acceleration for the H.264 video, which is what all of the streams use for the format. So if the encoder is getting overloaded, that's where the stream would freeze for a bit. Any scheduled tasks and task scheduler queued to run. I could not see a single task scheduled to actually run at the time, which makes it extra confusing. I went looking through all of them, and nothing is scheduled on a 29 or a 59 basis. Memory leak. I restarted the PC before stream. The stream was up for 20 minutes. Oh, hang on, let me reset this one. Alright, so that's a separate issue. That is not fixed and still going. That's not fixed, and I'm really, really confused as to what this could be. I uninstalled Wireshark because I wasn't sure about the next issue. So I guess I can reinstall Wireshark to monitor the super weird startup problem. But the main issue was the full NVIDIA driver crashes. And these would take the stream offline. And they would also make all my monitors go off. So it'd be a freeze. Windows recovers. All white. And then flickering. This has not happened since we had the old GPU. So this is all on the 4070 Ti. It hasn't happened yet. Just to be clear, yet. Sample size of 2 on the 3060. So the problem is likely at this point tied to the 4070 Ti, as it hasn't happened in 3060. But it's not a big enough sample size yet to say. It's like we're 2 streams in, and there are no hardware errors reported in the reliability monitor. What's it called? Reliability history. Which is usually event 144? Reliability history. What does it say today? Did you do a clean driver install? Yes, I did. Uh, 141. Yeah, so event 141 is the GPU related events with full driver crashes. I think usually timeout something related. And then there is a separate issue, which is a 144 USB hub crash. And this was weird because I tried looking last night on the Discord. Looked at the docs for it. And if I bring that fella up, I think I posted it in chat. Go up there to last night. Yeah, so here we go. Alright, so yesterday there was an issue. However, it wasn't actually a graphics crash. It's specifically a USB kernel event, because it says code 144 parameter 3003. So I looked for that, and it says those attached files for USB hub 3.0. These have been happening alongside the graphics issues. So if you see this big shot of the reliability manager, this one is a 141. Yeah, 144, 144. I fuck up the numbers. 144. This is 144. This is a crash with 141. And then some days will have both 144 and 141, but any day that there is a string crash is a 141 error reported in this. So far, there's been no errors reported on days that I have streamed. Today was after turning my monitor back on at midnight. So I think that there is a thing where I turn my OLED monitors off. When I then turn them back on, it seems like Windows doesn't recover that properly and causes like a weird USB hub error. Yeah, because I tried looking at the docs for this one. Bug check 0x144, USB 3 driver, and you scroll down to the one that says 303, USB hub 5 context, a USB device failed enumeration. So I'm assuming it's probably something like waking up after Windows has had all the monitors off, doesn't reload the USBs every now and then. That's strange. Why display puts down as being sent with monitors later USB enum failures? I don't know, but all I know is Windows does not handle monitors being turned off and unwell. Like, I mean, you want to try it on your one? Turn one monitor off in a multi-monitor setup, the entire thing reconfigures itself, and your desktop might crash, it might push things to the other one. Multiple monitor setups are clunky as fuck in Windows, and I can only assume so far that with this error where these numbers are reserved, so whatever the numbers here are don't matter. This one and this one do. I don't know how to reparameter to. Tried looking for the errors. I tried looking for many dump log files. Couldn't find them. Couldn't find them. This just says it's USB hub 3 live dump context. I couldn't see a single thing for it. So, you know. I was about to try before you started saying what would happen. Half the stream disappears. Check to see if my OEM has drivers. MSI 321 UP drivers. I don't believe I've seen them, but maybe. Because that could make some sense. It only has Windows 11 as a driver. It's 0.02 megabytes. Which that is very low. That would be very low. You install that? It's for Windows 11. I can't install that. I'm on Windows 10. So that might be a bust there. Like if that's the problem, then bleh. The driver doesn't do much besides change the device name from generic one to MSI model number. Makes sense. I've kind of wondered, but I haven't really heard anyone mention installing one of drivers in ages. Do you leave the system on all the time just turn displays off? Yes. So usually the process is for me, it's a 0x144 error, 3003, which is the failed enumeration error. And this usually happens when I turn my monitors back on. When monitors are off and I turn back on. Right, because like I have a OLED PC, so I like to not just keep them burning in whenever possible, even though burning is better than it used to be. I still, with OLED, try to not keep them on all the time. Probably a USB sleep issue. Well, I have all my USB power settings on, like if I look at the power options. Edit power plan. Turn off display never. USB settings. Selective suspend disabled. So you guys have an unstable electricity in Australia? I have a UPS. It's plugged into a UPS that does power filtering. Because that was one thing I was also wondering, is maybe the power in the home is fucked up? But remember, I splurged like the better UPS, and I got an Eden 5P one. And they have, what's it called? They have got automatic voltage regulation on it. Which, from the manual, double boost, automatic voltage regulation. So it should be protected from any fucked ups there. It's meant to be filtering the power. Is the router plugged to the UPS? Yes. But I get separate issues. We've got like 4 problems. Internet's fixed. The stutter, that's probably a different problem. Encoder overload, that's probably a different problem of just a 3060 in this case where it's happening the most. Doesn't have as strong of a GPU as a 4070 Ti. The main issue is that full crash, that's been happening on the 4070 Ti. Hasn't happened yet on the 3060. Touch wood. And yeah, there's the unfortunate other bit is it's not guaranteed that it's going to be the GPU either, as the mod pointed out.
Back after a 6-week holiday and Mako's talking about the tech problems she's having. It's like I never left.
Hey Harvey, thank you for the 25 months. Welcome back in. But yeah, it's not a guarantee that it is the GPU. Not guaranteed that it's GPU. Could be motherboard or power supply, but it has taken, you know, filtered power from a UPS. And I haven't had this problem in the 3060. Like, if it's a mobile or PSU, it could be a weird setting with the PCIe lanes. It could be some other setting that's fucked up and causes crashes with specifically these monitors. What model's motherboard? ARS X570 Elite. And yes, I've updated all the drivers. Everyone keeps coming to stream like, Mako, do you know about these things? See, the problem is, Mako, you need to update your drivers. Mako, your motherboard has... And I understand. However, I have updated the drivers. I'm currently talking to you about the kernel events and going through the hardware issues. So to preempt that, just in case, because I have gotten DMs, I have gotten mentions on Twitter like, oh, vtubers are so bad with technology. AM4 had some issues with AM4. Yeah, so remember the problem with the capture card for the Elgato one? That's because Elgato has an incompatibility with the AM4 USB 3.1 Gen 2 chipset. And they said they can't really fix it. It's up to AMD. AMD can't really fix it either. It's up to Realtek. Realtek is up to blah, 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 blah. They all just pass the buck around. So yeah, AM4 is kind of fucked for USB issues too. That could just be this one. It could just be an AM4 problem. Who knows? Because yeah, the capture card already had a separate issue there as well. Mako, you have to troubleshoot. Have you tried shooting your troubles? I wish I could shoot my troubles. Unfortunately, I can't just put a bullet in my PC and be like, it's fixed. The evil is dead. Yeah, I have onboard USB controlled by chipset drivers and Realtek. They use their own. Yeah, the Realtek ones are apparently quite bad for this generation of stuff. But I think this was one of the first USB, like, 3.1 Gen 10. I'll just say 10 gigabit. I hate saying the USB 3.1. Gen 2 times 2 times 4 times Gen 3.2 Gen 1 times 2. 10 gigabit. Apparently the USB 3 10 gigabit drivers were pretty fucked for all the Realtek stuff on AMD's, like, the AM4 motherboards. Which is why we had all the Elgato problems. bleh, they can't be fixed, so there goes every PC with that being able to use the capture card properly. Which is why I got the AVMedia one. No issues with the AVMedia one so far. And have eliminated that from the problem set because the stream has crashed that old GPU without the capture card connected. Yeah, you've had an unusual amount of trouble with your AM4 machine. Still love it though. Oh yeah, like they run games really well, but stability-wise, AM4 has been shit. Then again, so is Intel. So what do you expect? Was the views AM5? I think 5. It was bad on 670, only more stable on X870. Yay, maybe it's slowly degrading. Possibly, but again, the stuff where it's like, could it be some micro fractures in the plastic or the silicon after years of repeated hot heating and cooling? Maybe. Am I able to test that? No. It'd be really cool if we could, but there's levels of like being able to test stuff where at a certain point you kind of can't really keep testing because then you'll go insane. Right? Like I could go down to the atomic level. I could get an electron microscope and like, these traces. I see a cold solder joint. Do I know what that's gonna mean for the graphics card? Probably not. It would be cool, but there's like levels to troubleshooting where the more fine you go, the more you're on the path to oblivion and going insane. Yeah, I put my GPU on an X-ray machine. Also, I shot my T. So yeah, that's the tech problem stuff. Gonna assume the USB driver failed enumeration thing is probably an AM4 problem. Or some USB hub problem. Or just a regular Windows problem where it does not like to ever recover by turning on a monitor. I swear, if you try to just turn your monitors off, Windows will shit itself regularly. Like, there's so many little problems you pick up just using your PC, where it's like, no, but you must be using it wrong. It's like, okay, then why does Logitech still just have the letter T as their program to run my fucking mouse? Like, why is the letter T stopping my PC from shutting down in the middle of the night? And then they go silent and then just go pretend that there's problems somewhere else. Mako, what's the letter T? That's because it's just the Logitech Plus. The Logitech options it's just called T. There's so many people like, what the fuck is T? Because Logitech just has T as the name of the fucking program, and you'll just have that shut down. T is preventing you from shutting down your computer, and it looks fucking stupid. Let me see if I can show you the dialogue that comes up. Yeah. Yeah, this shit. Like, you would assume you have a virus, or something is severely busted. That's the intended behavior from Logitech. I'm not fucking joking. If you install Logitech options, this just will happen forever. There's no fix for it. It just happens. So that's what causes that? Yeah, if you have a MX Master mouse or any like the non-gaming Logitech mice, the app they use for changing the settings on your mouse is just called fucking T. Even though you have a thing called Logitech options, this just runs in the background, and for some fucking reason, they still have only called it T. This makes no sense to me. I haven't seen a good reason. Maybe there's a good reason. But holy shit. There's a few times the computer refuses to shut down. Oh yeah, I still have the bug where I'll say update and shut down, and Windows will just boot straight back up. Because Because the exe is named Logitech Options? It's because it's named Logitech Options underscore agent, apparently. Remember once turn off your monitor to full power and it just didn't work till you unplugged and replugged? Yeah, Windows just sucks. Hardware's suffering. Yeah, Mr. T fucking prevented my computer from shutting down. Yeah, I've had it a few times, sometimes I go to sleep, wake up to it back on. Yeah, it's annoying because I have to watch it every time I turn off my PC or restart. Because Logitech might just be like, are you sure you don't want to keep using your mouse? Are you sure? Yes, I'm pressing the shutdown button. You are a mouse. You're a peripheral. Why the fuck are you telling me my PC can't shut down? Yeah, the myth of consent. Where is it? Yeah, myth of consensual shutting down your Windows computer. I consent, Windows computer, I consent. Logitech options for the MX Master series of mice, where they just fucking name it T. I don't. Like, every program, every website works slightly less every day that I have to interact with them. Like, last night, I ordered something. I went to go check my order status and my shipping details. I clicked the verify code button. It was like, oh, we need a 2-factor code sent to your mobile. I'm like, okay, I press the send me 2-factor code. And it says, error sent verification code. Unexpected token is not valid JSON. It sent me this on both my phone and on my desktop. So I can only assume someone just fucked up the website. And this is like a major retailer. I just have to sit there. And that's the day after I went to my fucking accountant's page to use accounting software. And it says HTTP 403 error forbidden. I'm like, wait, is this valid? Is this like regular maintenance? I send my accountant an email. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not meant to happen. Sorry. Every bit of computer is computing less and less all the time, but we have so much more of it. How is it that they're like, oh, there's so much computers. We've got 1 million computers doing all the computing all the time, yet the amount of things I can get done becomes smaller. All of this was meant to make my life easier. Yet every layer of technology added is somehow making it more difficult to press a button. To just turn a thing on and off with a fucking switch. Erim's Lord's power of computer doubles the efficiency of software halves. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's my rant on that stuff. And then comes the part which is a little just me having done a bunch of chores and had to do stuff IRL today, coming back to then see all the news. So indie games are pretty good, right, guys? Indie games are good. Yeah. Oh. For the people unaware, there was an announcement today of the whole NVIDIA DLSS 5, and it's unfortunate because like DLSS previously was a nice way to upscale lower resolutions so that it's a performance increase for people on worse setups to be able to run higher resolutions. Now it's 25090s to run an AI filter over the top of everything that doesn't run better. Instead just looks like AI slap. And they got a bunch of the companies to say, yeah, we approve of this. And it's so uncanny and awful. Like, I'm not happy with DLSS on some days, but I acknowledge that there's at least an intention to improve things, even if it did get misguided over time to become a bit of a crutch. We'll have plenty of games that you need to use DLSS because otherwise it can't run at all. Like, the problem here, like, grace especially, is one thing that seems extremely egregious to me, where I can only assume they're forced to push this because it's not good. Something about it is deeply unsettling, and it turns everything into just an AI filter. Like, here's Grace Ashcroft from Resident Evil 9, which, by the way, Resident Evil 9 looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. But this is the before and after, and you can say there might be minute differences in the frames that they captured for the comparison of off versus on. But again, this is from the direct video from the company, so it's not like people are taking this out of context. This is the direct video that it comes from. And there's something very kind of sad about just the, here, we yassified it. Everything has that weird AI sheen to it, and everything looks kind of wrong. It takes it from, oh, this is this game, to this is a AI generated slapshot. And I don't know why. Also, they take that guy and make him look older? Yeah, it's a bit like the Balenciaga thing. It's just disappointing. And everything becomes like that so bright YouTube thumbnail looking fucking... Like, how do you take that from this? Like, ah, yes, this is the intended vision. Like, I wouldn't say that Starfield had a fantastic art style. I do take a lot of exception to Bethesda and how lazy they've been. Like, I mean, Vivi yesterday got a Switch 2, which was very kind of chapter supportive for that. So we decided to watch a Nintendo Direct, and then there's and one more announcement. It's fucking Todd Howard, like, here's Fallout 4 for the Switch 2. I think Bethesda's been a little creatively bankrupt for years now. But it's still just so over-sharpened filter, AI slop looking shit on top of everything. And it's meant to say it's an improvement, but this is the kind of thing I worry is much like DLSS becoming a crutch for developers who are whipped by their managers to keep releasing games and keep releasing them faster. I do worry that although this is technically optional now, and that's the argument people say for it, is, well, just don't run it then. I do worry that this will be pushed as the way to do it, or else you will not be able to play. Or if this is only able to run on the more intense graphics cards, that it's a way to encourage people to just rent from server farms instead. I do very much worry about, hey, don't own hardware because it's the RAM crisis and it's too expensive to buy a GPU. Rent it from us instead. I do worry about that and the future of being able to even own the hardware that you type words on. And like, it looks like AI. It just looks like generative AI slop. Not even we enhance the graphics, it's we put an image to image filter on top of this. And they call it DLSS, which doesn't even fit because previously DLSS has been there to upscale from a lower resolution or higher resolution for a performance benefit, whereas this is to hallucinate details and add a filter over the existing details to change them into quote-unquote better. It's a little disappointing for me. Because it goes from a performance benefit for people with worse graphics cards to changing the art itself to be quote-unquote better, and it runs way worse. So they shouldn't even call it DLSS 5. For sports games, I'm not the target audience of sports games. I've seen the Jeff Kaplan video where it's like, if you aren't gonna play it, why even complain? So I can't really judge sports games. I assume the people that play sports games want it to look as realistic as possible anyway. So they probably would cheer this on, even if I don't like it and don't approve of it myself. But I'm not the target audience. But it still does just look like a AI-generated thumbnail. Which is why it's kind of bizarre and disappointing. And I know there's probably benefits to this. However, it makes everything look so samey. And a lot of people have made the obvious joke of it looks like a Minecraft HD texture pack. It looks like they just put an AI filter over the top of it. And yeah, it does. It's funny all the clips are super short because stuff meant to make his issues more obvious. Yeah, but I worry if it's not obvious and if it does improve to the point where, well, it looks good enough that it would be forced, and a bunch of studios are gonna just have their work fed into essentially a slot machine constantly, and people will be fed slop, and everything will look the same, homogenized statistical average of this is how a face should look. The statistical average of this is how the lighting should look. The statistical average of this is what a gun is. This is how this material looks. And everything is the same, mixed together. I mean, if your main complaint is that they look the same, no, my complaint about that is it will encourage everything in all media to be run through a filter. This is not the same thing as a hardware technique to enable a style of rendering that, say, adds shadows below things. This is an overall image-to-image filter on top where they say that developers can add fine-grained control, but why is it still looking this shitty and generic in their own trailer for it? It kind of is just pushing the onus onto the developers, in my opinion. We're saying, oh no, this tech is so great, it's the developers using it wrong in our own video that we published. Much like how DLSS is used to blame the developers rather than companies making DLSS or the companies overworking the developers. Instead it becomes, oh, those developers didn't optimize their game, rather than, oh, the managers aren't paying them properly and also making them work overtime. And so the easy option is, of course, just use DLSS to smooth over any performance issues. Except now this doesn't even smooth over performance issues. It quote-unquote makes it look photorealistic. The videos had this tech for a decade. It was a beta for a while, and the freestyle is what it's called. I haven't heard about that myself. Let me take a look then. The video freestyle allows players to apply real-time post-processing filters. Okay, that is very different. That's reshade. That's very different. That is HDR and vibrance. That is a slider for colors. That is not the same as AI generating over the top of something. Freestyle is reshade. Which, imagine this. It's like me, I'm not AI generating this happened, chat. Hold your horses. Don't invest too much into me. Let me get the color correction up here. I mean, the super AI, it's just like all of it. This freestyle option chat is just like the generative AI filter. Did you see that? Do I get OpenAI money? This is what freestyle is comparatively. It is a shader for color correction, like reshade. It has more access to the data inside the games, but it's not generative AI. Whereas if I was to put my model into Stable Diffusion or any of the more recent Nano Banana stuff, that would be image-to-image generation. That paste over the top of it. That is definitely a different thing. Yeah, so my problem is culturally having every game be run through a generative AI filter is not only kind of creatively a little bit bankrupt, but I can also see it paving the way for a future in which people, again, continue to own less and less and encourage, oh, just have it server-side rendered. Rent a monthly subscription to access to a 5090 because you can't afford one otherwise. There's so many things that make me very disturbed by a lot of it. And I understand. I'm sure people may think this looks good. Everyone has a different idea of subjective taste, but I think there are both moral and ethical arguments to this. It might be a little bit of a slippery slope, if I'm being honest. I acknowledge that it's not a guarantee it'll happen, but we are seeing things like this happen. And I don't believe that in the current world where we have worries around whether video information is real or not, that turning both YouTube shorts into AI filters, everything that you see in a long form video, or what if it's AI, or all the YouTube thumbnails are AI generated, shorts are generated. What if the videos or the news are AI generated, as the recent news I probably don't want to get too into detail with, but there's been some very high profile events lately where certain important figures in the world, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here, of course, but there's events in the world right now where certain historical and important figures have had doubt cast on whether or not they're alive, and any video posted, people are worried might be AI, people can't tell what's real anymore, and I do worry about every form of media having an AI filter slapped on top of it, because it exaggerates a problem where we see everything through the same weird lens, and it kind of extinguishes the creativity and primes people for only consuming slop, while also taking away control from all the individual artists and people to be able to use their computers as they please. I'm getting a little off the rails there, but hopefully some of what I said makes sense. I'm less so angry about it and more so disturbed and very uncomfortable. I don't mean to cause any offense to anyone, and I know that generally I've cultivated an audience that agrees with me on a lot of issues, but I also understand that plenty of people may not agree either. I am worried for the world that will come when, well, no one controls their own hardware for anything. Everything is entirely cloud-based. Everything has to be tied to an ID. It is quite worrying. Oh, right, good point. It is also the ad break, so it is a wonderful time to take a quick little siesta from that and stand up and stretch. So up we go. Lean to the side. Lean to the other side. And better news. I've been practicing my sewing today. And there was a lovely cat that sat next to me while I sewed and hopped on the bed. That was so weird, never get more than the usual ads. Well, there's a 3-minute ad break, so if you get more, then I guess that's good for me in terms of ad revenue, I suppose. Or not, who knows? There's not really much transparency for Twitch for how ads actually calculate anything. Hello, I have no idea who is you, but hi. I have no idea who is you either, but hello. Welcome in. Well met, traveler, and all that. Alright. Nice little stand up and stretch. Yeah, go reminded to make sure that in the face of a bunch of doom and gloom stuff like, hey, we're gonna AI generate over all of your favorite games. It's not nice to remember that, you know, there's stuff outside of that. There's plenty of games that are still good. And there's plenty of offline hobbies as well that are also very good to get into. Like, hang on, let's see if I can show you any of the photos of stuff. Because again, I'm still just doing like practicing. I made sure to end my practice today before streams so that I didn't take up too much time. Because yeah, last time I was a little late. Hang on, this one. Okay, send those to my Discord. And sell cool bait filter in all video games, hell yeah! Yeah, it's a problem, I think, if people aren't able to engage in art unless it is filtered to look as photorealistic as possible. And also as homogenized as possible and accepted. Blech. You play any sports? I'm a lazy cunt, so no, but it would be nice to. Now, where was I? Ah, here. Yeah, so chat, I've been practicing. I've been practicing my little sewing stuff. I have gotten better at cutting, because this was one of the cuts that I made with the scissors earlier. And now I have gotten a bit better at cutting fabric. I got some practice down. I've been doing like the long sew strokes. Because you never fully end the scissors. You make sure to do like a clean sweep and then not fully cutting it down so you don't have any like skips like this. I think I did a lot better. Nice cutting's hard. It is surprisingly hard because it's definitely different to paper, right? Paper doesn't have little fibers that keep going threaded through all the other ones. So how's it a learning experience, even just for something as simple as cutting? And then, what else is there? Oh yeah, I also practiced pinning together 2 pieces of cloth. You've been scissoring? I've been scissoring! You learn from book 2? Well, I spend most of my day looking at a screen already, so I would like to, if at all possible, have stuff to read. I'm reading from the Telly something? It's a book called Learn to Sew. I also got like a tailoring book as well and like a nice big hardback. Why purple? Because it was cheap fabric. This is all scrap shit that I can not care about destroying. Because it's all about just practicing cutting pieces and... Where is it? But yeah, I practice different arrangements of things and doing little foldovers and trying to make sure I have like a nice straight line. Tiny bulldog clips are a good alternative to pen. Oh, that's a nice point. I haven't seen many people actually recommend that. Everything I've seen, even the lovely old ladies at the sewing shops, they all say use pens. I'll write that down. You use bulldog clips instead of pens. Cheap purple scrap fabric being insane 200 years ago. Yep. Yeah, because purple used to be that color royalty, wasn't it? To be fair, of all the skills learned theoretics on, sewing is one that learning from a book would be the best for. I suppose it makes sense, because that's how your grandma would have learned. But yeah, here we go. But yeah, I got through multiple lines on it just fine. Take a look at that. Cry reasonably straight. And so yeah, I've just been trying to stitch different fabrics together, different angles of stuff. I also did the... Hang on, did I take a photo of the one where I traced down different lines? Taylor Swift's chalk? Yes, I asked the ladies at the sewing shop and they gave me some chalk to use if I want to use stuff for jeans. Because they said that some of the washable pens might not be so good in certain fabrics. Right, I also, I learned a new term today. Went to the sewing machine, everyone knew you. I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm gonna say foreboding. But, who else up foreboding? That's what I was up to before stream. Scissoring and foreboding. Yeah. But hang on, let me quickly take a photo of the other little piece of test fabric. Thought that was Pediatrician's hands? Not that's in the book, unless I have very, very tiny hands. Hang on, let me get the scrap piece of fabric. Here we go, I got my little pieces. Yeah, so I drew out, like with pen, some little lines to practice sewing on. I did okay. I wouldn't say incredible, but like for the first time actually trying to do curves around, not too shabby. And send that to the chat. So yes, not much very fancy, but nice to practice and just get like fundamentals of stuff down. Especially when it's on fabric where it's a lot easier to practice when you're not worried about it being damaged. So yeah, I tried to practice doing some curves and I got it more, I suppose, straight than this one because the wiggle with the pen wasn't. It's kind of decent. I've also been making sure to try and do the reverse on each one to lock the stitch. Have plenty of fun when you start practicing the bias tape. What is bias tape? Let's see, bias tape. Strip of fabric on a 45-degree diagonal angle. Allow to stretch and conform to curved edges like necklines. Oh, okay. Bias tape binding. Interesting. What is bias tape and how to use it? Well, thank you. You learn something new every day. Also found out there's apparently like a satin finish for the foot dogs you meant to use. Oh yeah. Haven't tried any more of the fancy stitches. I've all just been using the straight, with regular straight stitch one. Relatively easy way to finish edges. Okay. I'll see if next time I can try doing like a little tiny pocket or something. So that's my stuff for today. Lots of just fundamentals of, okay, go from cutting it shittily to cutting it a bit better over time. How to pin stuff together. How to sew while there's pins there. I tried like both the sideways and the up this way. I will say, I do think that this way does tend to be a little easier to sew if you can get closer to it. Because of this one, you have to carefully take the pins out as it approaches. Because if you go over a pin, it's going to fuck up the needle. So I tend to find this one a little bit better. But I also understand that that might be also a risk with different other ways of stuff that I don't know about yet. So yeah, lots of fundamental stuff practicing. For gold. Mako's tailor? Yeah, that's why I have to get the tailoring for stuff. Because if I have to just buy clothes off the rack, they never fit properly. Because unfortunately, having a bust means that things fit a little different. Like, Miss Pediatrix is lovely, but unfortunately, a lot of clothes nowadays, especially in Australia, are very boxy and chick cut. And also the fabric is quite bad too. So if I'm gonna get any clothes, I may as well just have them tailored at home or... Hi Ashton, welcome in. I'm just talking about the various little sewing stuffs I've done. Which is a welcome change of pace from the other silly game things today. Yeah, I'm checking in my bookmarks for silly stuff. Oh yeah, okay. So you know those videos and like photos they use for the looks max, whatever the hell they're called? Where they show the women all looking at the guy? Like this? Like, oh my god, he's so hot. Great point raised. With editing, you can do anything. Like this. Why you so obsessed with me? You can make anyone look like they're doing anything with the magic of timing and editing. It's so fucking good. And although I guarantee that a lot of like those whole influences like I'm so hot going through this crowd probably are that attractive and they probably do get a lot of attention. But it makes me wonder how many do this strategy. I really wonder. Because there was a guy that kept saying, oh, all these people keep looking. And then it was revealed it actually just smelled like shit. That everyone was turning up their nose at him because he smelled so fucking bad at a festival. Which it is an accomplishment to smell bad at a festival. Because that's beyond the level of rank. That's like rotting fucking corpse level. Everyone smells bad at a festival. Hang on. Guy in festival. People turning to him. Smells bad. Can't see. It was something like Giga Chad, like, oh, they all want to be me. What's this? Nope, not that one. If anyone knows the video I'm talking about, do send it to me. It was this guy just walking around, like, trying to, like, clench his jaw and look super duper cool. And then everyone around him just goes, ugh. Do they deliberately cultivate the smell for that? I do wonder. Because at a certain point, you gotta, like, be actively going for it. Link to this tweet? Yeah, sure. There you go. That's this one. Hang on. Once more. Why you so obsessed with me? So indie games are pretty good, guys. You guys want to take a look at Steam today? I've done some sewing. I patted a cat. Been keeping up with other things. And my where's my little Obsidian workspace? Tested some USB sticks too. Alright, so I ordered some little USB 3s off of fucking Amazon. Because I've unfortunately run into the problem where I have one USB I use to boot stuff from. That means I have to constantly wipe it and reinstall different ones like memtest or fucking Linux or fucking Windows 11. So I figured I may as well get a couple extra USBs. Well, unfortunately, shit on Amazon routinely is counterfeit. And I've had plenty of friends who've bought USBs before, back when they were like the scam ones. Like, you guys remember like the 1 terabyte USB fucking, it's a terabyte of USB inside of this, but then they turn out to just be a really, really cheap USB drive with no flash memory and a software trick to make it look as though it has more, and it just writes over. Was it a shirtless dude that smelled bad? I think so. So yeah, I went to check these ones, and thankfully, it appears as though they are legitimate. I used like the H2 test W, the one which writes over SD cards and USBs. It seems like they verified all the bytes, so it should be legitimate. And they seem to have pretty decent speeds, where it goes like 90 to 40 over time for writing. Yep, that's the video. Hang on. That's it. 5 for 5. How's he out there? And they're treating him like he's meant to be super duper Giga Chad. Ah! I hate TikTok. Like, whoa, he's so tall and sexy. But really, he just smells like shit. All these reactions of people like, whoa. Oh god, they must be giggling because he's so tall and hot, right? That is not a reaction of, damn, that guy's hot. That's a, whoa, tall guy. Oh! He has to smell like fucking shit. And that, again, that is an accomplishment at a music festival. I have been to music festivals, many of them. I have never smelled someone this bad. And everyone smells bad. So to be essentially a fucking stink cloud is insane. And it's outdoors, yeah, and it's outdoors with like the wind blowing. Just again, the reactions where it's obviously framed as like, whoa, damn, that guy must be so hot. They'll just think he fucking stinks. Where is it? Where is it? So I wonder how many videos are just this. Why you so obsessed with me? Right? It makes you wonder how much of this whole influencer, oh, I'm so cool, everyone's looking at me because I'm so hot. It's just them saying a fucking loud sound, smelling like shit, or the people with fucking 50 cameras pointed at them on the other side. Like those people that walk around in the old-timey clothing and like, oh, we're too classy for the people nowadays. People just don't dress like us anymore. They don't dress too classy anymore. It's just a shame. People should dress up more. Meanwhile, they have like a fucking selfie stick with a Red Pro camera on it, looking like Peaky Blinders cosplay. Wife's got a fucking rockabilly dress on, looking like Betty Boop, which, cool if it's a genuine aesthetic. Not if it's just, here's a selfie stick, oh, I'm so much better than these people not putting effort into getting groceries. But yeah, thankfully my USB sticks turned out well, and I suppose let's take a look at some Steam games today. Oh hey, Squinix. Recommendations, Discovery Queue, Starship Trooper. Ultimate Bug War. The most realistic depiction of war ever made. And as we know from Starship Troopers, that line is meant to be taken 100% literally, and there is no room for satire or misinterpretation. They mean that 100% literally.
You're dead, Bob!
This is my número uno recommended
kinda looks like
retailer
a-
for the past 12 months.
Oh, take a look. This kind of looks like whatchamacallit, Serious Sam. Oh, they're doing the full pixel art 3D stuff. How neat. To fight the bug, we must understand the bug. Now, Asmorano, thank you very much for 7 months. Let's see, what's your most recommended game? Judera. Oh, right, the kind of claymation looking one. I'm a little less tired, so we can rewatch this one.
Didn't James shoot recently? Or is James in need of another Mandela?
Thank you, James Oriel. Thank you for 13 months. Welcome in. Glad you've enjoyed the stream. That is quite a surprised looking fellow. What a cool art style. I do think this is very, very cool looking.
Mako real.
Carijo, thank you for 3 months. Thank you very much. Judero. I read it very positively too. Run it through DLSS 5. 7 Deadly Sins Origin. Open world anime RPG. So wait, 7 Deadly Sins? Isn't that like the really just shitty and creepy one? Didn't chat? I think chat last time said 7 Deadly Sex Offenders. Yes, yes. Fairly terrible. That's a shame, because, like, the environments look quite good. And overall, the style seems nice, just... Yeah, the story and the characters don't really interest me. The island update... Oh. Oh, it's a gotcha. Oh, I doubly don't care. Dragonkin. The Banished. The draconic threat is once again upon us. Legendary heroes rise up to face the legions from the depths. Tame your wormlings. Create unique power builds. Expand your city and destroy the dragons. What do you expect? Main Japan of Perverted? I think Perverted is different to 7 Deadly Sins from everything I've seen. Like, I've seen people that love hentai, people that love a bunch of ecchi anime, that do not like Seven Deadly Sins and just find it shit. I think the intention matters a lot. I'll defer to professional Guna judgment. This is Dragonkin the Banished. It looks decent. Has an interesting slotting in of the gems back there. The skill system I thought was quite neat. Kind of like Opus Magnum, Path of Exile. Like, didn't League of Legends have a rune system kind of like this? Oh, come on, State. You can surely reload the video if I rewind. Fight Attack, thank you very much for 14 months. Welcome in. Thank you, thank you. And it's a hype train. That's right, Dan Clancy demands his due. Get on the hype train. You could win such incredible rewards as... what can you win? Hey guys at level 25. We're at level... Isn't that like a... How... 1,000... Isn't that like thousands of dollars to get that? Isn't it like thousands of dollars? Yes? Dan Clancy demands his due. Get your fucking gift subs in today. Depends on how high you set the hype train. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I set the hype train low and it keeps going up over time and I can't prove it, but it's something as afoot. And hype train sends. Enable hype train. Ah, it's on autopilot. I can't drive a train. I don't have a train license, but to help you earn more support from each hype train. Does that just mean like it's higher? Customize your channel's hype train. Can I? Oh, I can pick my own emote. Hype. What's like a hype emote? Fucking hype. I'm going to sleep. Hype. Good fucking night. Pug, thank you for 5 gift subs. Thank you very much, Pug, for 5 gift subs. Dan Clancy loves you. Yeah. 7 hours of sleep, let's go. Let's fucking go. I'm so hyped for going to bed.
Hey people, Mako here Makofu Woble Makofusoi.
Silver Wolf, thank you for 3 months. Welcome in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, so that's Dragonkin the Banished. I like the skill system looks kind of neat. Very Diablo-esque. I'm sure it's good. Justicles, thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Anonymous, thank you for the gift set of Justicles. Mako, you be really hyped for it. I changed the emote for the hype train to me going to sleep. I did some sewing today. I practiced for coding. It's been a busy day. I'm hyped out. Here's Grind Survivors in the Steam queue. Fast-paced action roguelike with demon hunters face endless hellspawn. Dodge, loot, and blast through brutal bullet hell combat.
When hell rose, The world burned. Cities fell. Kingdoms were cast into ruin. Seek human laws and decimate the ranks of hell. Rise, survivor, bearer of vengeance. Forge your arsenal. Build instruments worthy of the hunt. Strike without hesitation, for you are the hand that delivers judgment. Precision is power. Your bullets speak order. And thus begins the eternal labor. The grind.
This looks okay. So it's a Vampire Survivors like with a not Doom Guy TM and hell themed. Okay. Mako, I know you do your Steam Q's ass. Look, I'm trying very hard. They've done a great job with this one. It's mature. It's not recommend. Fuck. Around 5 hours in, you to unlock the second level. You expect some fun, some new. It's a reuse level with 3 new enemies. Same location, but gray blue instead of gray brown. This game's good. I mean, it seems fine. I can't see anything wrong with it. It's a Vampire Survivors, like, it's called Grind Survivors. It looks okay. Decent.
Welcome to Decent.
Sci-fi strategy and fully customizable units and behaviors. Gather, build, research, and explore the unknown.
A strategy automation game beyond bounds. Like most automation games, Desync is about building increasingly complex systems to produce increasingly complex parts. It's also a strategy game with bot-based automation and fully customizable units and
Okay,
buildings.
so the
In
Protoss,
Desync,
but
you'll use bots to transport materials,
you give them
defend
actual
your
instructions.
base, act as a mobile electrical grid, carry around a working factory, and many other tasks. It also means a traffic jam in one part of your supply chain can upset the rest, because the bots themselves are an important resource. Remember, optimization is key. To help you manage all of this, players can use simple flags to help tell bots what to do, like moving finished materials into storage or taking them directly into another factory.
Does this voice sound
And
familiar?
as your base
Slightly British man on YouTube, number 73.
grows in complexity, you may want even more customization options. You can use visual scripting for more refined control
He has
of
a
nearly
pleasant
everything,
voice.
or use scripts written by the community. You can also play the game without touching visual scripts at all.
And sounds
However
like
you choose to
a
approach your
he
problems,
does a
Desync
fine job.
is a methodical, deep game with a huge amount to do. Exploration, base defense, expansion, research, and more will be required to uncover the mystery of where you are and who you are. After 2 years in early access and over 6 major updates, Desync is finally ready for 1.0. Join us for the official launch of Desync on Steam.
A little like Kazakhstan? Kind of, but less deep. Well, at least recently, what do the reviews have to say? Best factory game ever. Blueprints for heroes, research, flexibility, interface. Okay, it's 10 out of 10. It's not a pure RTS, not a pure manufacturing game, not coherent in the slightest, not well documented, not supported very well. Boosting selling point is to script AI of each unit. Out of the box, you don't have to do this, but it's great for precise management. Can't remember the tutorials even touch the behavior system, but it doesn't. All buildings are made from multiple components. A furnace fits into a small components in a building. Assembly fits in a medium slot. Developers get fed up with this and found amount of unique and bespoke situations. Resolve it, duplicate the building or exists and change its recipe. pathfinding hell, oh true, pathfinding then becomes really important. Because the butts in Factorio are just straight line. Go between stuff because they fly. Okay. Interesting concept, but tutorial and documentation is lacking. Fair enough. Can't recommend it enough. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I am having fun. Hell yeah. Because I really like micromanagement games and factory games, but I'm not sure if this one's gonna be here. I do wonder about the program behaviors and how hard that would be to make work. Imagine the same but with performance hell as Factorio with A-star pathfinding. Oh. That's a very fair point. That's a very fair point. I think the trailer was starting to lag a little bit towards the end too. Discovering this hell right now, your project? Let's go! Dijkstra is a fucking asshole! Never should have invented pathfinding. Dice with death. A dice building roguelike. What does that mean? Unfortunately, you've already died. Fortunately, death is up for friendly competition. Collect new dice and relics, create damage stacking combos, and even cheat death himself to emerge victorious. So you learn how to program functional pathfinding? Take the Blizzard approach. Just don't. It worked for StarCraft 1 and they made a whole industry out of that. I want this to be good. But I'm not sold yet. I think we've seen the trailer before, but that's a better trailer at least than it was the last time I've seen this. They have upgraded some stuff. Is it still early access? No, it came out today. Great game in general. Couple points of feedback. Needs a banish mechanic. Oh, yep. Every rogue game has to have the banish, or else people that play it for the 50 hours will get upset. This is like a game I enjoy after work when I'm too taxed out for things that are extremely complex to take hours, so a challenge to help my mind switch from work mode to recreation. Death levels with you from the start is going to cheat, give you tools to level the playing field if you're clever. The fuck is the banish thing? Oh, banishing roguelikes is like a way of mulliganing by saying, I don't want the flower that locks me into an AoE build, so I'm going to get rid of the AoE build. And so that way you have for your roles for like pick one of the 3 things. More of the ones that you might want rather than the ones that you don't want. It's a way of fixing the odds in your favor. Yeah, get rid of the specific thing I hate button. Like say, get rid of the garlic in Vampire Survivors. Well, this looks okay. Eating to see his ingot. Love me garlic. I love me garlic. Simple as. Oh, also the chat responded, use these clips instead of the pins for sewing. Ah, that does actually look like it works a lot better. That does look quite nice. Good suggestion. I suppose that does make it a little... Oh, well, I've kind of fucked up open in these before. You think, but Mako, isn't that really... Like, my strength is not that great. Thank you very much for the suggestion. That's actually a really good idea. Uses clips to hold your clothes? Hell yeah. Versatile office supplies. Okay, that's just that. It looks alright. Deadline delivery. Strap in for it, deliver the goods before the bomb goes off. Players call a monkey driving a wildly unstable mail truck rigged with explosives. Okay, okay. Okay, resuming. That's delivering the mail like this, what are you doing? Well, all the mails either deliver like this or it never leaves the post office. That looks quite fun. I really like the premise. I'm not a fan of driving games per se, but that looks quite fun. And to bring it back to that thing I mentioned before, the Jeff Kaplan tweet. So for those unaware, Jeff Kaplan was laid off from Blizzard, and he finally talked about it recently. Where they set a really unrealistic sales goal for Overwatch 2 and made him freak the fuck out because they said that he would be responsible for everyone's jobs being lost if he didn't reach that goal, which is insanely fucked up. I think it's this one.
And
so context so people know what I'm talking about. Jeff Kaplan, wonderful fella on Overwatch, used to be a lot more free reign on how he said things, and when he got signed on officially to Blizzard, he was a lot more reserved and lots of great meme videos and announcements for Overwatch. Then eventually disappeared. He talked about why he disappeared.
What it boiled down for me, like what sort of ultimately broke me in my Blizzard career, was I got called in the CFO's office and he sits me down and he says, he gives me a date, which at the time was 2020 and was going to slip to 2021, but at the time it was 2020. And he said, Overwatch has to make in 2020. And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do dollars, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
I do not know many people who would be able to handle that kind of pressure, especially when he did seem to care about the game genuinely. He cared about the staff that worked on it because they were his co-workers, and a lot of people love Jeff Kaplan. Again, I haven't read the Jason Schreier book. I do have one on my cabinet that goes in detail about Overwatch and Bungie and stuff as well. All kinds of various industry inside things. But it says, sorry, Blizzard. The CFO seemed like a bit of a cunt. Because saying you're responsible for thousands of people's livelihoods if you don't reach an annual recurring revenue number is fucking insane. That's like quitting the spot for you. I would say a lot of people would be terrified that if they quit in the spot, then they would still be blamed for everything going wrong. How do you resist not telling that guy to fuck off? I don't know. Because even in a professional environment, that is an insane ask of anyone. Like, saying that you are responsible for thousands of people. All of the people on the team. Jesus Christ. So that's why, if you remember the Jeff Kaplan just leaving from Overwatch, this is why. Because he didn't initially say it. We also don't know if he's lying or not really. From everything I've heard from Blizzard, this does line up with the behavior that has been claimed. Again, it does mean that you kind of rely on him telling the truth here. Jeff could also be lying. He could be lying. Wrestle with Jeff, prepare for death. But there hasn't really been a public statement refusing this, so...
And he said, Overwatch has to make in 2020. And then every year after...
Also, they did bleep it for confidentiality agreements, so that means that they probably did have to review a contract, and so him making a claim like that is at least a little more solid, even though it's not necessarily still a guarantee. Like, you can't make up numbers about a company either, so I get the point from Chad saying, how can you tell if it's true?
After that, it needs a recurring revenue.
But they are
And
at
then
least
he
bleeping
says
it
to me,
because of the
if it
issues around
doesn't
his
do
contract.
dollars, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
Inclined to believe him. So that then ties into the next bit I mentioned is, this is directly tying to streamers and people that whinge online about games. I am of two minds about it. On the one hand, I think complaining about things is unfortunately the only recourse many people have as a consumer, because otherwise the only things you have left to buy are what is sold, and if no one complains about what is sold, then they'll keep selling stuff that you don't like. But I also agree that there's plenty of games where people that are never going to play them will complain about it endlessly to an insane degree and drum so much hate about something they don't actually really want to play, don't really care about, but want to jump on a hate train. So two minds about this one. I'll let it play.
I never understand being hostile about it or being rude about it, but I understand being upset and I understand voicing your opinion. But like, if a game comes out and you don't want to play it and you've never played it, shut the fuck up. No one cares. Like, we don't need to hear that you weren't into it. Like, what is with this? Oh my god, I'm so upset they decided to make this game that I have no interest in.
I think it's pretty fair.
I'm not running to the internet every time there's like a TV show on. Well, I'm not watching any TV shows either, but like
yeah, people keep telling me to watch The Pit. I've heard The Pit is a good show, but I'm not going to be a dedicated anti for it because too many people tell me to watch The Pit and I get annoyed. I'm just going to say, okay, I guess I'll watch The Pit at some point. Not really my thing, but
About my opinion if I'm not going to play it. And if I've never played it. Like, why does my opinion matter on that? I'll tell you what it does. Like, as a game developer who's been in charge of teams, who has the ability to, like, do something about it, I just fucking ignore you. That's all you've accomplished.
Yeah,
is like, I guess I'm not
the desensitization
like, gonna listen to you
from
anymore.
All the hate comments is real. Like, when I see someone say, fuck you, you fucking fat whore, I hope you die, just stop doing this, I just go about my day. I don't think, damn, do they have a point? With enough strong hate, which especially someone like Jeff Kaplan being at the head of Overwatch has had to deal with that, you're not going to take the feedback seriously anyway. If 10,000 people say the same thing, then what? I would just be like, well, like, I guess I'm not going to look at all the 10,000 people saying I fucking suck and should die. Humans aren't meant to take that level of criticism for something as benign as a personal opinion on a game directly. And yes, I also realize this ties back into our discussion before and how industry-wide there is the DLSS AI-generated filter thing currently happening. Games, though, I agree with them. If someone says they aren't going to play, and they don't want to play, and they're not the target audience for the game, then their opinion is kind of diddly squat because it's just venting. And people should be allowed to vent, but it doesn't mean their opinion matters, and they probably would better spend their time not doing it. That's why when I go on Steam, right, I acknowledge that games like this. I think this looks like a wonderful game, but it's a racing game, and I can't really accurately judge racing games because I don't play them, and I'm not particularly interested. Like, I will hop on Mario Kart with a friend. I'll do some Mario Karting, but I'm not out there like, I can't wait to be a racist today. Let me work that one back. I'm not out there like, damn, I can't wait to play a racing game today. It's just not my type of game usually. But I can also acknowledge that plenty of people do love them. And if there's a game where I don't want to play, I go, well, they're not really targeting me anyway. I don't really want to play it. Good for them. If it's especially egregious where it's funny that it's bad, I might laugh at it a little bit. A little bit of schadenfreude is kind of okay. It's not a good human trait, let me tell you. It's a little... There's probably some moral bankruptcy going on if I'm out there just laughing at everything. They're like, chat, look how fucking stupid this is. There's probably a little bit of moral bankruptcy then. Everyone does it. But I look at something like this and I go, hell yeah, good for them. This looks fun. But I probably won't play it. I'm also kind of on that for sports games as well, because the sports games I mentioned before. If I see like a WWE or a FIFA, I go, the people who like those games will like them. Nothing I say really matters because it's been said before. And they're not targeting me as an audience anyway, so they shouldn't change the game to cater to my opinion. Also, hi, Amir, welcome in. Who the fuck's hating on games they never played? Have you stepped under the internet? Half of the opinions when someone mentions an anime or a game is, yeah, I've never seen it. I fucking hate this thing. Never seen it though. Never played it. God, I fucking hate this anime. Or, oh, I love this anime. I love this game. I love Silent Hill 2. Have you played Silent Hill 2? Well, no, but I really like the story from reading the fandom wiki. A bunch of people will always claim on the internet that they're a fan of a thing or they're a concerned viewer, but they have never, ever interacted with the media earnestly. And yes, I believe their opinions don't really matter in what Jeff is talking about. People should be allowed to complain. If someone is a target audience, that's not what he's saying. If someone is a target audience and they do want to play it but feel put off by it, be in a certain way, then yeah, absolutely complain. Or go all of the AI sub-filtered shit recently. But if someone is never going to play something and they don't care about it, but they just sort of go, I want to be mad. I want to be mad. High God and Concord is my Dunkirk. Then, sure, they can do that, but they might probably be raising their cholesterol and their cortisol levels a little bit too much. I agree if you hate on something like gacha based on external factors like scaling monetization, but generally great stuff. Yeah, like I'm never gonna play gacha games that often. I played it with Musume because I thought they were cute and it was quite fun. But I'm not gonna say, oh, these gacha games, they're all the same. Oh, I've got a complaint about this. I'm gonna make a tweet about it. I don't like the monetization. I've said all I really can about a lot of the gambling stuff that I don't really enjoy. But it's not meant for me, so there's nothing that they would get out of listening to my feedback other than, hey, don't make that because I don't want to play it. There's also something to be said about acknowledging that you as a person do not have a perfect opinion. A lot of people online are, I don't like this thing. How could anyone like this thing? I'm guilty of it, you're guilty of it, but you gotta have some ability to self-reflect and go, okay, I don't like this thing. Maybe some people do. Is it harming things outside of just personal taste and gameplay? No? Then okay, it doesn't really matter. That's a personal difference. If it's something like, yeah, predatory industry-wide implications, then I'm more inclined to be like, I don't like this and I don't want it, and I'm gonna complain. And yeah, like on a Steam game, if you're gonna be like, how could they do this gameplay? I could never do this. You should probably own the game and maybe have tried it. This is hot take culture. People expect you to have an expert opinion about something that happened 2 minutes ago. Yeah, it's like when people come to my stream and like, have you heard about the fucking Strait of Hormuz? And I go, no, no, nope, nope. It's fucked up though. Without saying the sleeper agent activation phrase of the current event word. I can't talk about Whitest Kids You Know anymore because they made too much of a prescient skit. They made too many prescient skits. The Gift of Prophecy blessed the Whitest Kids You Know team, and I can't talk about them because they have too many skits that are directly relevant to current events. Fucked up. So anyway, in summary of this tangent, people like different things and different genres that I will never appreciate as much as they do, and that's fine. This game seems fine. I'm not particularly interested, but good for them. Next in queue. Five Matt's Cats. See, this one as well. Vivi loves these. I don't particularly enjoy them, but I'm sure some people love them as much as Vivi does. And I can't really accurately judge these. I'm like, cool. A bunch of objects. Good for them. Funnel Runner. Trapped in Doom City, you and 7 friends must scavenge parts, fix your van, and escape the brutal tornado approaches. First-person co-op survival with escalating disaster. Oh, it's like storm chases but with friends. Yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. I do have a morbid curiosity in a bunch of these kind of games. And yeah, the warning sirens for stuff is also very, very cool. It's from the Phasmophobia people, isn't it? Does it not? No. Well, good for them. This looks like it could be okay, or it could be really bad. However, the game is not out yet, so there's not much I can really say. Deadlight Escape is a low poly extraction looter shooter. You know what I said before about being reasonable and just everyone has a preference? I will complain about how many games looter shooter extraction loot shoot extraction single player extraction multiplayer extra PV. There's too fucking many of them. And that's right after the argument I just made that people should be allowed to enjoy their own genres, and I'm not 100% of everybody. But oh my god, it's low poly Borderlands talk of. I mean, extraction shooters that aren't online tend to make a little more sense to me because with Tarkov at least, there was too many people cheating. Like, you can't really enjoy a multiplayer game in which there's a pretty decent chance you just don't get the loot that you expect or people are cheating. Even if it's only one out of a lobby, the entire lobby is tainted. Oh, by the way, it is currently the ad break, so it is a wonderful time to stand and stretch. What's this? Thank you, chat. Thank you, Freedom. Alright, up you go, chat, up you go. Stand up and stretch. Who sent that to it? You're in my you posted in my Discord. What do you mean, who sent that to you? It's in the Mako memes channel on the Discord. That's my server. Did I say you live during stream? Okay, but half the people do, half the people don't. There's no winning. That says. When you say Mako? See, the fun thing, I talked about this. I was gonna get the 3D stuff ready, and then the graphics card started crashing streams. I would like to use my 3D, but I can't even guarantee that my PC is stable for 2D streams. So hopefully if today doesn't crash, it might be a genuine indicator that, yeah, I should get a new GPU. Dr. Noises? Alright, that's Deadline Escape. Next one is Hamura Hime. Anime style 3D action game merging exhilarating thrills and tension-filled gameplay of bullet hell. Okay. This looks cute. This looks quite fun. That looks quite good actually. Aww. 89% positive. Female Virgil constantly on fire, fights demonic enemy girls, legend, dodging a ludicrous amount of bullets, parrying all the things. Why does it drop frame rate so much? Optimization. Good fights. 12 hours, okay. Feels like an old school 360 title. Okay, generally pretty recommended. That seems interesting. Hack and slash is less my cup of tea, but seems like a pretty good pull. That is Homorahime. Night's End. Work together to survive the night shift in this co-op PvE. Hurry. Serve your villages as a sorry, I'm yawning. That's rude to the developer. Serve your villages as a disgraced knight by completing their commands in a cursed kingdom. Reclaim your lost and earned items and a chance of freedom. You brought shame upon your king for the last time. By his decree, you are cast to the night shift. Do everything to reclaim your honor.
He's a hungry man.
That's a fucked up looking horse. I love him. Do not perish to the night.
Don't go that way. Oh my god! What the fuck is that? Look out! Look out!
I love slut memes, but I hate friend slut. But when the world to normalize, socialize, and up to curve and calling hanging out slut isn't helping. I do agree. I sometimes say friend slut positively, but I do agree that people tend to overuse it. And so anytime they see people together, it's like, oh, friend slut. Wow, you friend slupping. Fucking loser, look at him friend slupping over there. Oh, you talk slupping now? Conversation slup? Having a little bit of conversation slup? Yeah, fucking looking slup. Close your eyes. Sleep slup. Australian sunscreen ads modernized to the current day. Sleep, slop, slap. Fun in the sun, slop, if you say it like that. I mean, this looks okay. Isn't it because the dictionary made slop the word of the year? That was after all this stuff. No, hat slop. Tired of slup? Can we go back to quality slup? I think with saying slup too much, I've started to forget what slup means. It feels weird as a word now. I think it might be like tasting metal. This looks like a perfectly fine co-op game. I will not say slup. Alright, one more cue. What do you got? Car for sale together. From developers of Car for Sale.
You there yet, man?
Yeah, I made it to this damn paradise, but I don't know if I can actually make it here.
You will, bro. We're doing this together. We're selling that rusty piece of junk. I already sold my house. We're all in on this.
Seth Rogen slept. There are no reviews. It's not out yet.
Need more cash? I know a couple guys. We'll put them in. I'm sick of barely getting by.
So, what's the move?
There's a small shop here. Looks rough, but we fix it. Rent it. Find new cards. Build this thing up.
From nothing to everything. Car for sale together.
What else have they done? Village of Vagabond? Wait, but what about together? Well, isn't this based off of the pre... Because the developers Red Crew Interactive, is it Red Axe Games? Oh, there we go. Gamer stuff, that's AI. Pub Life Simulator Prologue. Vegas Simulator Prologue. Driver Simulator Prologue. Dead Engine, Pocket Garage Simulator. Top sellers. Gunshop Manager, Music Producer Tyco, Coffee Sale Together, Grimstone Survivor, Barrack Simulator, Monkey Testing, Village of Vagabond, Input, Motorcycle for Sale Simulator, Airport Police Simulator, Gym Simulator 2 Together. These all seem kind of shit, if I'm gonna be totally honest. Also, I think that's just... Yep. That's just the Ghibli filter. Oh my fucking god, are you shitting me? This is just Game Dev Tycoon, yeah. Game does not contain ad-generated content, just used for the Steam images. Sure. Yeah, I like the Tesla. I fucking... God. Village of Vagabonds, upcoming co-op extraction game. Fucking... Doesn't even have a trailer. I... Doesn't even have a trailer. Also, where's Car for Sale? Because it's like, it's based off of the Car for Sale. Car for Sale game. Car for Sale Simulator 2023 of Red Axe Games. That didn't show up. Ah, there's more that they made. That one initially did not show up. 52% positive. Horrible bugs. The patches get worse. This is actual garbage. There's no multiplayer mode where we can shell cars together. They read this review and were like, holy fuck, quick, make a video. I pay for this game, therefore I shouldn't have to wait for the ad for CFST to be stuck in my screen without being able to close it. What the fuck? It's a bit jank. Actually quite fun if you get past the jank. Begging for review, I'd wait time to force us to read it. Oh. They seem to be maybe mobile developers that have applied the same kind of thing to PC. Thing is, you get away with it on mobile because the game is free. If you charge money for it and you start begging for ads and reviews, then it is not taken as nicely. Ads wouldn't start in the game without skipping possibility. Posted today. So this is not like an old update. This is a current thing. Frame rate drops when starting constantly during gameplay with settings on low. New music adjustment. Ads and trying to log out as well. I love it. Best game. Vansh Gujar. Thank you, Vansh Gujar. Game doo-doo. Mr. Worldwide, 305. Game doo-doo. Can't put cars outside. Clearly 7 hours to get $1 million, no in-game, barely any content. Half the pitches are lies, just absolute lies. It says you can hop on a boat, go to different regions. That's a lie. It's 2 speed tracks and drift tech. You can't buy anything for the scrapyard, even though an image shows you can. The map isn't the old one. It's a new, boring, empty mobile game escape circle thing. The economy makes no sense. The DLC costs all $1 million for cars to be like $16,000 in real life. What the hell is this game? It's just a glorified mobile game. Every time you launch it, it's open The Sims 4, 2 unskippable pop-up ads for their other stupid games. Oh, fuck, okay. Well, that's less than encouraging. Game doo-doo. Sorry, I got it. There is a little bit of aura you get when you just say, game doo-doo. Game doo-doo, thumbs down, game doo-doo, move on. How's the Lords of the Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen, version 2.
Version 2.5? Didn't they release this game like twice already? Which version of the game is this one? No players online. Oh yeah! Based off that old video about the abandoned FPS multiplayer game.
The mind.
Computer in every home, business, and school.
Mind friend. Find all computer. The Commodore. Sorry, I felt the pinching around my toes. It was just my sock creeping up. Anytime I watch like a horror game trailer, my body decides to do like the funniest shit possible and just freak me out by giving me a phantom sensation somewhere. Really rude. I just feel like an itch on my back. Itch on my toe. I just feel like I'm about to jump every time. Thank you. No players online. I mean, that seems fun, but a little spooky. I haven't meaning to play this. But it is a little spooky, so... Ruin it too. Oh yeah! I heard this one was quite good. There's the original one, right?
We let you run just
That's such a... Sorry, that's such a nonsense fucking filler statement. Oh yeah, Ruin it too. I heard that one's kinda good. There's an original one, right? Like, yeah, there's a Ruiner 1, you fucking idiot. It's called Ruiner 2. Of course there's a Ruiner 1, and it exists in its original, because that's the first one. It's called, this is the sequel called Ruiner 2. What the fuck, brain? I'm not filming a TikTok short, and here, Ruiner 1, I've heard good things about the first game. I'm not really familiar with it, but I've heard there are things about the game.
enough to feel it. You are still on a leash.
I don't smash it. Do you have a hidden zipper foot for your slot machine? I believe so, yeah. There's a satin foot and a zipper foot. It's like foot A, F, and E. A few ones.
Sorry, puppy. You don't get to die like this. You're done running solo.
Oh my god, there's multiple ruiners now.
Now move.
They're gonna ruin everything. Another John Wick inspiration for the cover there. This looks like it would be good. A lot of people in chat have mentioned they played the first one. It seems fun. I've heard of the first one, never played myself. It doesn't seem like it's out yet, but it does seem like something to keep an eye on. That was a decent trailer. It's also actually really fucking hard when playing hard. There you go, chat. It's difficult. For defend. For defend. Fantasy city built with a mix of resource management and strategic tower defense. As Lord Mayor, build your settlement of a fortified city capable of fending off waves of demonic invaders. Guard the gates. Okay, I like the title. That's really cute. The beasts wake in winter. They seek your doom. The city will fall. Unless, nay, prithee, rebuild, tell the land, mine and quarry, receive blessings, work the forges. Oh, okay. It looks cute so far, but it's all a matter of how much this actually affects the game itself. Unleash your wizards. Okay, they're really cute. The art for that's really cute. I think this one has a lot of soul to it. Ow, here. I didn't lodge a pin on my foot, did I? Because I was stolen before and learning how to use pins to... Let me take my sock off. Why, when I move my toe that way, does it make a sharp pain? Ow. Okay. I'm not sure it's meant to feel like that. You ought to time to retire yourself. Yeah, okay, I can't feel anything. I think it's just like a weird nerve / ligament problem. Who names that game Fallout Fiend? It's for defend. Okay, I'm gonna take the socks off. Hold on. Weird toe pain? Quick, I'm an orthopedic surgeon. Take a picture and upload so I can diagnose your issues. Yeah. Everyone in chat is suddenly an orthopedic surgeon. Like you're all fucking Spartacus for feet. I know the drill. Any foot problems, I will suffer in silence. I get it. Anyway, this looks very cute. But I do wonder how, like, okay, I like the UI. It is pleasing and comfortable to look at, which is a stretch apparently for some things these days. This looks actually quite good. 95% positive. Pretty classy looking tower defense city planning game. Way better than average tower defense. This game is a masterpiece. It's adorable. But Doctor, I am Spartacus. Yeah. Okay, what is the negative? Several seasons worth of building walls, the enemies just keep going around, even out of bounds. Okay. Sounds like some people have bugs. Which is fair. I'd say it's highly recommended. Maximum speed blaze too hard to see. Okay. I think I'm gonna add that to my wish list. I do actually really like that. This looks fun to me. I'm gonna add that to my wish list. That is Fort Defend. But yes, some people thought this says Fort Friend. The I in the middle is Fort Defend. The logo is cute. However, some people have had trouble reading. And they're doing patches, good. You can play the bejesus out of the King was watching. I didn't play the bejesus out of that one. We got like, what, 10% of the way through all the upgrades? So much we didn't unlock with that one. But yeah, Fort Defend. I actually want to put that on the list of stuff to play today. Next in queue, He Followed Me. A psychological horror experience that ordinary man who begins noticing the same car outside the places he visits. The sources of mind disagree on slowly turns into something far more unsettling. Sometimes the scariest things aren't supernatural. They're real. Ah, a cat!
So many nights walking outside, talking about life, looking at stars, listening to our favorite songs. As you hear my feelings out and I can...
You're so tired of games with this kind of music? It's a little bit of a hater thing to say that, oh, they're just jumping on trend. But it sounds like Adventure Time Joji. That's the most I can distill it down to, is it's Adventure Time Joji. The butterflies and bees. This is Zesto Studios. The thing is, I like it. I say this with the full understanding that I do enjoy that, but it is Adventure Time Joji. It is a trend. Is chasing trends bad? Who knows? There's a developer that cared about this. They put clear effort into it. This looks more competently made than a lot of other games I've seen. Even if the VHS filter is a little bit of, I would say sometimes, overdone. The game is not good. First, there's a clear ripoff of Fears to Fathom, just like every other dev is trying to. Oh, wait, I have not heard of that one. Who's Joji? You may recognize him from the hit songs by Joji, and nowhere else. In case you've been off the internet for a while, Filthy Frank went on to do a breakaway from the personality which he felt like was kind of killing him. And I'm very happy for him succeeding. A lot of people don't even know Joji was Filthy Frank. Yeah, he seems to be doing a lot better now. You don't know who Filthy Frank was? He was a internet shit poster made lots of edgy videos with an exaggerated character voice, and then realized that everyone else around him meant the shit they were saying while he was joking, and he dipped. As a famous video of one of them. Where is it? He has the famous Joji face.
I saw a study that said 90% of all. I saw a study that said 90% of all men are stronger than
all women.
Than all women. All women. 90% of all men are
And
stronger
that's
than all
Joji
women.
slash filthy Frank in that?
It's just a physicality. It's physiology.
So what does that mean?
It just means that almost all men are stronger than every woman.
Okay.
So like you've got the physicality, and our primal urges as men. Like you go back 1,000 years, we were just raping people. That's how you fucked back then.
Right.
Like legitimately, legitimately. Like
And
if you
he's
look at
just
monkeys, they just
they're
rape.
looking a bit uncomfortable the whole time.
Or apes or whatever, right? Our Neanderthal
That's like a thing where you're like, oh wow, that's provocative, I guess, but
cousins were probably just raping like crazy. So there's definitely something like in us to like conquer. Men want to like conquer.
Right.
So it's, you know, women are in a nature setting like to be conquered.
And after that, he distanced himself quite a bit. And hold up. Oh, it's going up and down. It's going up and down, and it's crashing. My OBS is 27,000 kilobytes per second. It says 41,000 kilobytes per second. It kicked out half the people from the fucking stream again, and it's getting more frame drops. Yeah, the whole stream is dead. My end says it's completely shit. So I'm gonna just enjoy Cleo. If you guys can see this, I'm gonna drop frames on my end. It says 50% frame drop for me. It's... See ya. Ah.